In this short video, I want to show you my top 5 favorite side body stretches. These are great if you just want to stretch and you feel like you just need to stretch your body, and also they're really good if, especially if you've worked your core and you're a bit tight and you just fancy activating your core again and just stretching it out and just getting rid of some of that tightness in your body. As a prop, you might want a belt, a yoga belt, or a towel, a t-shirt, the belt of a bathrobe, a scarf, something like that. We're using that later. And we're going to start standing for the first pose. Pose number 1 is reverse Oreo. And I'll show you how to get in. So we're getting into it as if we're getting into Warrior 2. So standing, really nice wide stance. So our feet are almost as if they're under our hands. If you're reaching your arms out, your hands, and you're looking at your feet, and they're more or less below. You don't have to. It doesn't matter if they're exactly below, but just really nice wide stance. We're bending that front knee. The toes of the front foot are pointing forward. Knee is above the ankle, ideally, so stacked on top. The knee's not falling in. So just to show you that, so it's not falling in like this. We're trying to keep it nice, pointing forward to protect our knee. The back foot can be in line with the short edge of the mat, the back edge of the mat, but it can ideally maybe pointing a bit forward, so the heel is a bit further back than the tips of the toes. That just helps with your hip alignment. So bending here, our body is nice and flat, so our body is in line with the long edge of the mat here. We're raising our arms, we're going forward as someone is pulling us by the front hand, and then we're turning our palm to the ceiling and we're flipping around, bringing that palm over our head, the other hand, the back hand, so my right knee is forward, so the left hand goes on my left leg, maybe sliding down. And one thing you have to pay attention to here, or you can pay attention to here, is that you still keep a nice bend in your front knee, the bent knee and the hip, because temptation is that the bend comes out as you're falling back. And you're reaching back and you'll immediately feel that super nice stretch in your side body. So you can look at your palm, at the palm of that top hand that is reaching up, or you can just look straight ahead if that's more comfortable on your neck. Inhale, and exhale to come out, which is coming back into Warrior 2. And then to do the other side, which is turning around. Now the back foot again, maybe the feet pointing slightly, the toes pointing slightly forward, heel slightly back, bending that front knee, knee above the ankle, knee not falling in, pushing it slightly out. Nice flat body here, arms alongside the body. Inhale, forward, flipping that palm over to the ceiling, folding back. I'm standing here, feeling that stretch. Again, paying attention to the bend in the knee and the hip, maybe bending a bit more. And looking to the palm or straight ahead. Inhale, exhale. Next inhale, coming up. Lovely. So you can obviously stay in that pose as long as you want. And if you're finding it really uncomfortable, or if it's a bit much to go back really far, don't worry, you can just do it as much as you feel comfortable with, or go as far as stay as high up as you can or want today. Great, so that was number 1. Number 2. Number 2 is side plank. So for that, I'm going to place our hands down. We're coming into plank first. And in plank, our feet are about hip width apart. Hands around our shoulders, fingers nice and wide. Index finger pointing forward. Shoulder blades pulling slightly apart. And shoulders away from the ears. And maybe if you've got a mirror or something that you can look at out, it's got the camera, try and make your body in one line. So I just looked and I thought my bum was a tiny bit high, so bringing that down. You want to be in a nice flat, in a plank obviously. So not hanging through, not having the bum up too high. And if you don't have a mirror or anything, just try to sort of feel, maybe pushing the bum up a little bit, hanging it down and finding equilibrium. Next we're going to place our hand in center. And actually before we do that, For plank, if you're finding plank really difficult, you can bring your knees down and come into a modified plank. Totally fine. And you can do side plank also in this modified version. So let's do that first. We're going to bring our right hand into center, so under our face. And now we're going to keep our right knee down. We're doing it on the right side first. And we're going to bring our left arm first up, pointing the left foot back. And we're on the shin now. The shin of the right leg is in contact with the ground. Right toes are pointing back. Starting here with the arm to the ceiling. And then we're going to reach over, again stretching, elongating that side body. Inhale, exhale. One breath here, inhale, exhale. Bring that left hand down, right hand back to the side. And let's do that with both knees off the ground. So we're coming into a full plank. Again, let's check our bum and come into the middle. Really nice way of finding that point. Bringing the right hand under our face. And now we're going to roll over onto the knife edge, this outside edge of the right foot. We're going to see if we can stack our left foot on top of the right. We're coming here, and then we're going to reach over. Our abs are really working here as well. And we're also stretching that side body. One more breath here, inhale, and exhale, left hand down, rolling back. Lovely. Let's just briefly do that on the other side as well. So for that, coming into a plank here, and again doing first the half plank, knees down, bringing the left hand under our face, rolling down, shin in touch with the ground, foot also in touch with the ground of the left leg, the bottom leg, pointing that right leg, the top leg back, arm up, and then reaching over. Lovely version. Even here your core is still working. Looking to the palm or just looking straight ahead. And inhale, exhale, hands coming down and placing the left hand again to the other side. And let's try and come into a full plank if you want. So lifting, coming onto our tiptoes, heels pulling back, shoulder blades pushing apart, shoulders away from the ears. Again, having that little play with the bum up in the air, hanging it down, finding middle. Really nice way of finding that. Now, left hand under our face, in the middle. Rolling over onto the outside edge, the knife edge of the left foot. Bringing the right foot on top of it. And you can try here to push the whole sole of the left foot in touch with the ground. Reaching up and reaching over, side plank. And again, you can look to the palm, that will challenge your balance as well, or look straight ahead. Inhale and exhale, bring the hand down, placing the left hand back to the side. Let's come to kneeling for a moment. So that was number 2, working our core here, as you could feel, also working our shoulder strength, and just really strengthening, elongating, lengthening the body. Okay, the next pose, our third pose, is gate pose. And for that, we can stay kneeling, come to the middle of your mat. Now we're going to kneeling, but we're lifted onto our, so we're not sitting, but we're coming up onto our knees. If you've got trouble with your knees here, you could either get a cushion or you can also roll over your mat, getting that extra, that double cushioning. And we're going to start on the right. We're going to bring our right leg to the side. The sole of our foot is touching the ground, or touching the mat, and our foot and our knee are in line. So sort of where the knee is, that would be where the middle of the foot is. Great. Now we're going to reach up our left arm, and we're exhaling, we're sliding down. So it's a bit like humble warrior in that sense. Really stretching, elongating the side here. And again, you can look up to the palm, or you can just look straight ahead to the floor. Your hand, the hand of that long leg, is sliding along, and you place it wherever you can reach. Have it on the thigh, up on the calf, maybe you can get towards the ankle. Inhale and exhale, we're gently sliding out of this pose. And the same thing on the other side. Toes of the foot that remains kneeling, of the leg that remains kneeling, the toes are pointing back. Alright, so we'll do the same thing on the other side. So left leg now right straight. Again, having a look at our knee, that the knee and the foot are in line. Pressing the sole of the left foot into the ground, toes of the left foot are pointing forward. We're going to inhale our right arm up and exhale, reaching over. I'm going to try here to keep our shoulders stacked on top of each other, so not to have the chest roll forward, but maybe pulling the shoulder back a tiny bit, opening the chest, looking to the palm, or just looking straight ahead. Feeling how the side body stretch is coming all the way from the hip, through the ribs, into the armpit. And inhale, and exhale, we're gently coming out of the pose. Lovely. Next one, fourth pose, we're going to come to seated. Here you might want to get your belt, and we're going to come into twisted Janu Parivrtta Janu. So for that, Janu is, I like to think of it as a figure 4 in our legs, or a bit like tree pose, the balance. Same shape in our legs, but we're sitting. And so we're starting with the right leg straight, left leg bend, foot against the inner thigh if you can get it, sole of the left foot against the inner thigh of the right. If that's a bit too difficult on your hips or you don't like it, bring it down a little bit. You could even leave it near the calf if that's more comfortable to you. Try not to have it right on the knee, because maybe if you put any pressure on the knee, that's not ideal, but it's not that likely to happen in this pose that there's any pressure that might injure your knee. Just try to bring it anywhere sort of between, anywhere as possible for you. And for Janu, not the twisted version, but just head to knee pose, we sit here, we do that little micro twist, getting our chest over our leg, reach up and holding either our foot or our calf, and we're stretching forward, bringing our chest towards our leg. With the twisted version, our chest is actually open to the side, and we're bringing our right arm, so the same arm as the leg, alongside the leg. And actually, here, she said earlier, but also if you have a block, place a block on the inside of that leg, sort of elevating, lifting the floor up. That will make it easier for you to settle your arm on the block if you can't really reach the ground comfortably. You will notice that by trying to bring your arm towards the ground, you feel quite the stretch in your hamstring in the back of your knee. And then we can reach up and try to reach up with that opposite arm, that left arm in that case. You could also, if you wanted to use your belt, bring that around your foot and hold on here. Just if you're finding it really difficult to come down, you could hold on here, and that will also be a really nice way of doing the pose. What I like to say is, imagine that left foot, that front foot, the right foot right now, is against a wall, an imaginary wall. So the foot is really active, we're pushing that foot against that wall. And as we stretch over, we're trying to touch the imaginary wall with the fingertips. Opening the chest, again feeling the side body stretch as we do this together now. Stacking our shoulders again on top of each other. So pulling that top shoulder back a little bit rather than rounding forward, pulling it back. You can look towards the palm or straight ahead. Inhale and exhale, we're coming out. Lovely, we're doing the same thing on the other side, obviously, as we always do. So, left leg straight now. Right foot is against the inner thigh, the sole of the right foot, or anywhere along the leg which is comfortable to you. If you want to use that block, you can place that on the inside of the left calf to place your arm on top of that and reach over here. You could also Use your belt, bring that around your foot, hold on there in order to reach that. Really engage the shoulder here. It's quite a nice one by pulling on that belt. You're engaging your left shoulder, the bottom shoulder. Or no props at all, which is fine as well, but it doesn't mean it's better. I'm placing left arm on the inside of the left calf. I'm reaching over, and again, that left foot is pushing against an imaginary wall. And we're trying to reach that same imaginary wall and touch it with the fingertips. And we're stacking our shoulders on top of each other here, reaching over, looking to the palm or looking straight ahead. And we're staying here. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, and exhale, gently coming out of the pose. Lovely, well done. So last one is the most relaxing of those poses. But I love this. I tend to include it in warm-ups when I do this in my classes. So this is a child pose variation, a child pose side stretch, Balasana variation. So for that, child's pose, I'm going to be kneeling. I'll show you from the front this time, and then also from the side. We're kneeling, and our knees are, you can have them together. I quite like having them slightly apart, maybe about hip width apart. But as you have them hip width apart, your big toes are touching. You've got that connection in your big toes. Okay, so we're sitting here, and then we're coming into child's pose. We stand the child's pose first. I'm just lying here with our arms stretched out in front of us. Hands shoulder width apart. Okay, what we do now is starting to walk, just literally sort of walk our fingers of the left hand over to the right and place the left hand on top of the right hand. So the left palm is on top of the back of the right hand. We're pressing them together. If you can, if you find that not achievable, just bring your left hand as close to the right hand as you possibly can. And we're staying here, and we're breathing. We're trying to imagine staying active in our shoulders. Maybe bringing the shoulders, imagining bringing them closer to the mat, activating the shoulders and stretching the shoulder here, the side body a little bit, but we feel the stretch mostly in your shoulder. Breathing deeply to get that activation. Okay, let's walk that left hand back to where it was. Shoulder width apart, the hands. One breath here. And then walk our right hand over. And again, can try to bring the palms on top of each other. So right palms on top, so palms, hands on top of each other. Right palm is on top of the back of the left hand. And stay here. Or if you find it difficult, just have the hands next to each other or bring the right hand as close to the left as you can. I'm staying here. Again, imagine bringing the arms closer to the ground, also pulling the shoulders slightly away from the ears. And as we breathe deeply, we feel the stretch now in the right shoulder, but also in the right ribs, armpit, down the side body. Okay, and now we're just walking our right hands back to where it was, shoulder width apart, the hands. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, pulling our hands under our shoulders, and exhale, pushing our hands into our hands and coming to seated. Lovely. So those are my 5 favorite side body stretches. There's loads more which I also do, but those are quite nice, I think. I hope that you like this. You can include these in your yoga practice, or if you ever just want to stretch your side body, you can do that. It's always great to do a couple of sun salutations before to warm up your body, and then you'll feel a lot more comfortable in those poses. Use your props. Props are great. They make poses more comfortable and more achievable. I hope you find this fun, and hope to see you soon.